So I'm gonna pack all this back up, and then I'm gonna take you over here and I'm gonna show you how I set up my hammock and tarp. Okay, so like I mentioned before, I do a hammock setup, and basically what I'm going to show you here is how I do my hammock setup and my tarp. So it's a little bit warmer now, so I'm going to get acclimated to that. So first, let's set up my rainfly. Again, this is the Hammock Gear Dyneema Fiber Tarp Rainfly, and I did a couple of mods to it so that it's more convenient to set up, more convenient to take down, generally just easier, more pleasant to use. Alright. Alright, here we go. That's how simple it is, just to string it up. Now I haven't deployed it yet. What it's in is something called a snake skin. Basically it just keeps it all, in one place so I can have it set up, and it's real quick and easy to deploy if I need to. So let me grab my stakes here. Let's go ahead and get that done. That's all there is to it. Now one of the modifications that I made to this hammock has to do with the doors. What I did was I added some shock cord and eliminated the need for more stakes to stake out each door. This way I can just take each door from the corner and bungee cord it out to the opposite corner that's staked out already. And there it is. So I can do that on all four. They're all completely independent of each other. That way, it's really quick, really easy to adjust the doors and keep the wind out. Now another modification that I've made with bungee cord is to each guy line, I've made a tensioner. You can see here, this orange string is the guy line, and this green is the bungee cord. I leave a little bit of slack in the guy line. That means that any of the wrinkles that have developed from the tarp being in the snakeskin, as they start to unfold and decompress, this keeps tension on the tarp. Also, if wind's blowing and whatnot, the lines just don't loosen. That's what these are for. Probably most importantly, for a Dyneema fiber tarp, what these guy line tensioners do is they keep it from getting torn up, right? So this, I can move it around, I can trip on it, I can fall over it, a branch can fall on it. It can move around everywhere, but it goes back. And it has all this play, all this movement. The stakes don't come out and the tarp does not get damaged. So that's what these guy line tensioners do for me on this tarp. I have my tarp pulled back, half of it, so you can see when I put up my hammock what that looks like. So here's the hammock. So on the very top I keep my poly tree straps. These are from Anti-Gravity Gear, and these go on the trees first. So the method I use to suspend my hammock from the tree is called the Marline spike method. That requires a toggle, and for a toggle, again, I just use a stake. They barely weigh anything. I could probably find something lighter, but for now, I use a stake as multi-purpose. Again, if I lose a stake, I always have extras. Okay, so to make the Marline spike, what I do, I should say, to take my hand and I turn it this way so that my thumb is pointing down, the back of my hand is facing away from the tree. And I grab the strap, okay? And then we make our loop by doing this. So essentially all I did was I grabbed the loose end of the strap down here and I wrapped it around my hand, and then I twisted my hand so that my thumb is now pointing up. All right, and then that creates a loop. Okay, let me do that again slowly. Okay, and then with these two fingers, I grab the strap. So I grab from the top of the strap. We're always traveling up the strap to make this marline spike hitch. So with these two fingers, I grab the strap and then I pull them through that loop that I just made with my hand. Okay, and you should end up with something that looks like this. You take your toggle and you put it through that and you cinch it all down on that. Okay, it should look like this. Or if you have it the other way around, it should look like that. Okay, cinch that down good and tight. That's your marline spike hitch. So we're going to go ahead and do that on both sides, both straps. And I'm going to show you just how fast it is once you know what you're doing to make a marline spike hitch. That's it. So that's how fast it is to make the marline spike hitch. And the reason this is important is that now I can hang my hammock off the tree. So let's pull the hammock out. My suspension system, I use what are called whoopee slings. And basically all it is, I've created a loop on one side, and then I buried about 7 or 8 inches of itself through itself like a Chinese finger trap. It's a braided cord. When you push on it, it loosens up. When you pull on it, it cinches down, tightens up. And then I can adjust the size of that loop with this end here. And so I can make the loop smaller by pulling on that and pushing on what's called the berry. And you can see now my loop is much smaller. Or I can make the loop bigger by pulling on the loop and pushing on the berry. And so now my loop is much bigger. And that is how I adjust my whoopee sling to adjust how my hammock lays. The important thing to note is you always want to do what's called milking the berry, which is basically making sure it's all cinched down and tight so that when you get into the hammock, it doesn't move on you and you don't fall into the mud. So let me go ahead and get this set up. So what I want to do now at this point is make sure that it doesn't sag too low with my weight in it. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and sit in it. My bug net is a bottom entry, so it's a big old hole in the bottom. I put that over myself, and then I'm able to sit in the hammock. So right now, I don't even have barely any of my weight in the hammock. I can tell it's too loose. So I'm going to adjust it. This end I'm going to bring up. All right, that looks like it might be just about right. I'm grabbing my ridge line and I'm pushing my thumb on it so that I can see how much flex it has. That way I can kind of gauge the tension. I want it to be tight, but I want it to have some give, and that's just about right. So this hanging a little low, these trees are kind of far apart, so I don't have the perfect hang, but this is good enough. I'm not going to be sleeping on the ground. So I just recorded about 5 to 10 minutes of me setting up my hammock, the insulation and everything, just to find out my camera wasn't recording at all. Oops. I'll show you what I did anyway. Basically, my top quilt, I just threw into the hammock. Okay, that's real simple. It just goes right in. My underquilt has elastic bands on it that go from the foot side of the underquilt all the way up to my suspension on the top of my hammock. And the exact same thing is the head end elastic bands that go to an S-clip that clips onto this end. Real simple. So the next step is the Thermarest Z-Lite pad. I mentioned in my last video that I'm a little bit weird. I'm weird like that. Don't judge me. With how I sleep in my hammock, and so I use this to go from where my foot side of my underquilt stops up to where my feet go. And all I do is I take this, again I reach up under here, move the top quilt down a little bit, and then I just unfold it, making sure that it's all in the hammock, and that's it. So now I can get into the hammock, get all nice and cozy. I can sleep for the night if I want. Alright, so I'm just going to make a few adjustments here with my top quilt so they don't sit right on it. Move my pillow a little bit higher up, and then I'm going to go ahead and get in and demonstrate just how easy this whole thing is. Take my shoes off. There we go, lean back, feet in the net, pillow under my head, get myself situated, pad under my feet. And there we go. I'm already nice and toasty. It's real easy, real simple to get a real good night's sleep out in the woods, anywhere, as long as you got 2 trees. So if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap.